Welcome to the Rock Nation Sports Conference Call. Your host for today, David Iskowitz, will now begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon/morning. We are here to discuss the Miguel Cotto versus Daniel Geale WBC and Ring Magazine Middleweight World Championship, which takes place Saturday, June 6th at Barclays Center in Brooklyn and will be televised live on HBO at 10:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. The fight is presented by Rock Nation Sports and Miguel Cotto Promotions in association with Gary Shaw Productions, and the fight will be the official kickoff event of the 2015 National Puerto Rican Day Parade Week in New York. Sponsored by Cerveza Tecate, Jaybird, Tap Out, Tequila Cazadores, and Venue Kings. In addition to the great action inside the ring, the event is going to have several notable Rock Nation touches that fans coming to our fights have become accustomed to, and that includes a musical act prior to the main event, and that musical act for this event will be Big Sean, who will be performing from the ring. We will also have Angie Martinez, the voice of New York, who will be acting as our MC, and DJ Lobo spinning music throughout the night. Tickets still available. Fans can get them at Ticketmaster.com and at Barclays Center. We urge people to get their tickets. They're moving quickly, and we'll be moving even more quickly next week. Now, to say a few words and introduce Daniel Geale, I'd like to turn it over to our co-promoter, Mr. Gary Shaw, the president of Gary Shaw Productions. Gary?
Thank you, David. Welcome, everybody. We look forward to this fight. Graham Shaw has done a great job training Daniel Geale. We've had great sparring. We brought in Francisco Santana and Tureano Johnson as two sparring partners from the U.S. Daniel brought in a sparring partner from Australia as well, so we got a lot of rounds in. Daniel finished up all his sparring yesterday. I'd like to thank Grange Old School Boxing for allowing me the pleasure of representing Daniel Geale for all these years. I have just a couple of things before I introduce Daniel that I want to say. Number one, with these catchweights, the catchweight for this fight is 157. We agreed to that in order to make the fight. I, as a promoter, do not believe in catchweights. I believe if you're a middleweight, you can fight at whatever weight you want to, but the other fighters should be allowed to fight at middleweight, which is 160 pounds. And that goes for junior middleweight, welterweight, whatever. We wonder what's wrong with the sport. It's because we confuse people. And I've just read an article just before I got on the phone with Freddie Roach, and I have a world of respect for Freddie as a person and as a trainer. But he said it's part of a new world of boxing, quote unquote. I don't believe that for 1 minute. But, I just don't think there should be catchweights unless the sanctioning bodies want to change the rules that they fight under. So that's my own personal views, and I wanted you all to know that. Daniel will make 157 on Friday, the day of the weigh-in. As for the strategies or whatever else, my feeling is that they made a mistake if they looked at the Triple G fight and feel that's the Daniel Geale that will be in the ring on June 6th. That is not the Daniel Geale, and although I respect Miguel Cotto as a person, I like him as a friend. He's for sure a Hall of Famer, but he made a mistake in my opinion. This is more like the Trout fight than it is like the Triple G fight. So we'll see on June 6th which Daniel Geale comes into the ring, which Miguel Cotto comes into the ring. But I think this is the first true middleweight that Miguel Cotto has ever fought. Daniel will come in hydrated and will be more than 160 pounds on Saturday, June 6th. Anyway, we've had a great training camp. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Daniel Geale. Will talk for himself, but I want you to know that Daniel is well-traveled, and we went to Germany and beat Sturm in Germany, and I believe will come into the United States and beat Cotto in his hometown. So, Daniel, you can now say a few words, and then we'll get the questions.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for that. Yeah, firstly, I just want to thank a few people. Just want to thank Grange Old School Boxing, Billy, Gary, and Graham, and yourself, Gary Shaw. Also Rock Nation and Miguel Cotto for giving me the opportunity. I'm excited by this fight. It's a huge fight for me. I've been in fights before where I've had basically the whole crowd against me as well, and these sort of fights do get me very excited. And I've trained extremely well for this fight. I mean, this one means the world to me, and I'm not coming over here being an opponent. I think that dropping me down a few pounds may weaken me a little bit, but I'm going to make sure that's not the case. And once I step into that ring, it's going to be 100% ready to go.
Okay, David, you can turn over the questions.
Yeah, we can open up for Q&A now.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. Once again, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key.
Did I lose you?
Just one moment. Our first question is from Muslima McClendon with Elite Boxing. Go ahead.
How you doing, Daniel?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What advantage do you think you have mentally on Cotto, being that he has not been in the ring since June? This is actually his first defense of his WBC middleweight title. So how do you feel you have a slight edge over him going into this fight?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I guess I have, had that ring time a little bit more. So, but I'm not taking anything away from Miguel. I know, he's a seasoned professional, and whether he's been out of the ring 2 months or 12 months or 18 months, he's still going to be in good condition. So, I'm not taking too much into that. But I know, with my height and reach advantage, I have to make the most of that as well. So that is going to give me an advantage, as long as I use it right.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Jason Gonzalez with Examiner.com. Go ahead, Jason.
Good afternoon, Daniel. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Great. Daniel, just a couple of questions. One, do you think Miguel may be overlooking you and looking towards a fight with Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, I definitely believe, that they're looking past me. Miguel and his camp are definitely looking past me. They think they're, chosen me, as probably not one of the super strong middleweights at the moment, and especially bringing me down a few pounds, they think they're going to weaken me even more. So, they're definitely looking past me and looking for big money fights, which is exciting for me.
Okay. Daniel, how does this fight play out differently as opposed to the fight with Gennady Golovkin? Do you look at Miguel as a true middleweight?
Miguel's definitely building himself up to being a middleweight. Whether he is a true middleweight, I'm not sure. He has been a great fighter, in lower weight divisions for many years. But he's coming up against bigger guys now, and I guess that is to be seen. Whether he can handle all of that. But I'm going in there very confident and believing in myself.
next question is from Carlos Gonzalez with Primera Hora. Go ahead, Carlos.
Yes, hi, Daniel. You mentioned about the going down you have to come down a little bit less than 160. What are you doing in order to avoid going weaker into this fight since you have to lose a few pounds more this time?
Yeah, I guess it's just working with a dietitian and helping me, I guess, maintain my weight a little bit easier. Making weight anytime, even at 160, isn't that easy. But if I do it right and I do it very smart, then it's not going to weaken me. As if anything, it just makes me a little bit more switched on and a little bit more determined.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask any questions, please press the number 1 key. Our next question is from Javier Govea with La Caridad. Go ahead, Javier.
Daniel, there is common knowledge that there is an agreement in place if Cotto is due to fight Canelo Alvarez. Do you feel affected by that or not?
No, to be honest, that doesn't bother me. I've had that many times before in other fights, and it just serves as motivation. People quite often look past me and try and set fights up in the future, but I guess it's my job to ruin those plans. I'm not coming over here to be an opponent. I'm not coming over here to lose. I've had a couple of tough fights over in the US before, and I want to make my mark now.
Louis, having fought Golovkin, do you think they decided to take you because of the Golovkin fight? They decided to fight you?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they've looked at that fight and thought, knowing Miguel's style, if they bring me down a few pounds and if Miguel comes at me really hard, then, I'm not going to be able to handle that pressure. But, I've had great sparring throughout this training camp. I've had great training, throughout. And my coach has got me in the perfect condition, and, we're ready for whatever Miguel's going to throw us.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you would like to ask any questions, please press the number 1 key. Our next question is from Jake Donovan with Boxing Scene. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Daniel. I just want to ask what your mindset is like compared to like when you had to travel to Germany to fight Sebastian Sylvester and Felix Sturm. Like if you're in a similar mindset or if you're even more motivated for this fight.
Yeah, I'm definitely in a similar mindset. And, my last fight, not my last fight, the one before, against Golovkin was tough, and, it was all against me in that fight. But coming over here this time, I feel it's probably more similar to traveling to Germany. I'm going to have most of the crowd, pretty much all of the crowd against me, and not too many supporters, which was very similar to Germany. But in saying that, I'm coming over here very confident. I know what I have to do. I've trained very, very hard for this, and I'm not going to let it slip.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to ask any further questions, please press the number 1 key. Our next question comes from Luis Sandoval with Fight Hype. Go ahead, Luis.
Hey, Daniel. How's it going? My question is, when you think about this fight, how do you see it playing out, Daniel? Do you expect an aggressive Cotto, or do you expect the Cotto that's going to move around and box a little bit more? What are you kind of expecting from him that night?
I'm expecting a very aggressive Cotto. He knows. I've got the height and the reach advantage on him, and he's not going to sit back and have a look around, and he's definitely going to have the crowd on his side. But I believe he's going to want to put on a good show for the crowd as well. So he's going to come out. He's going to come out hard, throwing bombs, and trying to entertain the crowd, and that's going to play into my hands, and it's exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to ask any questions, please press the number 1 key. Our next question comes from Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com.
I just had a follow-up question, Daniel. Gary, obviously, he stated his beliefs on catchweights, and I agree with him 100%. I just wanted to get your take on it. I mean, I know why you took this, why you agreed to the terms in order to get this fight, but just your take on catchweights in general.
Yeah, to be honest, if you're fighting especially a title fight, obviously if it's not a title fight, then catchweight, there's no problem. But if both parties agree to a catchweight and it's not a title fight, but if you're fighting for a title, like a middleweight world title, 160-pound title, the weight limit is 160 pounds. So, I just find it funny. I signed and I'm going to make the weight, but in saying that, it should be at 160, and I'm not going to whinge about it. I'm not going to complain and put on a turn, but that's the way it is, and hopefully in the future. There aren't too many more catchweights, but we take it on the chin, and I'll be 100% ready for this one.
Hey, Jake, it's Gary. They should put an asterisk when you fight for the linear championship of the world as well, but it's not at 160 or the whatever weight the fight's at.
Our next question is from Zoe Crooks with RealCombatMedia.com. Go ahead, Zoe.
Hi, Daniel. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Great. It seems Miguel's fighting a true middleweight this time. What advantages or strengths that you bring to the table that you think Miguel hasn't seen thus far?
The obvious ones, of course. I've got the height and reach advantage here. I think they, have probably seen me in a couple of fights before, and I guess they haven't watched, my boxing skills a lot. So, that's something that I will be using a fair bit. I have noticed in a few of his other fights, guys that have, good skills give him a little bit of trouble as well. So, obviously it's going to be, Miguel, a guy that's going to come forward, throwing big punches, trying to get in close, as opposed to myself, using my speed, footwork, and longer punches. It's not really too hard for people to work out, but I believe it's going to be an entertaining fight to watch.
Our next question is from Muslim Mom McClendon with EliteBoxing.com. Go ahead.
Just a follow-up question. I was actually at the fight at the Garden for Triple C, and I thought you did pretty good. You made him miss, it was always a chance to get caught when you're fighting him. If you get past Cotto, do you think that maybe you have a fight with Alvarez in the future?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
If you get past Cotto, do you think that you have a fight with Alvarez in the future?
Let me. This is Gary Shaw. Let me answer that. There's a rematch clause. So the question is, would Rock Nation and Cotto take the rematch, or they wouldn't? So it's not something we can answer right now, and the only thing that counts is June 6th. Okay. Nothing counts after that.
Got it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to ask any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. Our next question is from Jason Gonzalez with Examiner.com. Go ahead, Jason.
Thank you. Just a follow-up question for both Daniel and Gary. Considering that Miguel is working with Freddie and under the tutelage of Freddie Roach, he's looked good. But do you guys look at Miguel Cotto as being reformed, or do you think it was just a matter of him fighting the right guys? Whoever wants to answer first.
Daniel, you want to answer, you want me to answer?
It doesn't matter. Whoever wants first.
Yeah, Daniel.
Okay, I think, I believe, Freddie Roach is a great coach, a great trainer. Whether Miguel is reborn again or whether he has, got some motivation back again, I'm not sure. I guess that's more to be seen on the 6th of June. I'm just concentrating on myself. I'm not worrying about, what other factors, may be involved. I'm worrying about getting myself into 100% perfect shape, mentally and physically. And my coach, Graham Shaw, is doing the same as well, getting me in the perfect condition. And, whether, Miguel's got his old coach, whether he's got Freddie Roach, it doesn't bother me. I'm just, focused on what I need to do.
I would tell you that Freddie is a tremendous trainer, and Miguel can only learn more from Freddie. But at the end of the day, it's the promoters who make the matches, and if they do their job correctly, then it helps the fighter greatly. I don't think Miguel is reborn. Miguel is a great fighter and a Hall of Famer, and he'll bring it all on June 6th, and Geale will bring everything he has on June 6th.
Our next question is from Javier Gavea with La Caridad. Go ahead, Javier.
Daniel, his body punching has been the big punch of all his career, and he got away from it, and now as he's back with Freddie, he's throwing it a lot more. Do you need to be more of a boxer and use your height and the fact that you are taller in order to avoid exchanges and the body punches?
To be honest, I think I have to use my reach. I have to use my natural attributes against his. He's a smaller fighter, so obviously he's going to be, trying to work in close and land lots of body shots. But, I'm just going to, fight my style of fight. I'm not going out there worrying too much about, what Miguel Cotto is going to do. I'm going out there worrying about what Daniel Geale is going to do.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Erin Lattis with Supreme Boxing. Go ahead, Erin.
Hi, Daniel. I was just wondering if you feel like you're going to have to work harder to get a decision, being that Miguel does have the hometown advantage.
You know what? I'm going to have to go out there and be very convincing in this fight because, I'm going to have, I guess everything up against me again, and it's going to be tough. But I have been in the situations before having crowds against me, but. I know what I need to do, and these sort of fights, pump me up a little bit more. I know I have to work extra hard, and I'll put the hard work in the training camp. So, I just got to go out there and do my job now.
Our next question is from Neil Johnson with Hoop Jab Boxing. Go ahead, Neil. Neil Johnson with Hoop Jab Boxing, your line is open. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. We have no further questions at this time.
Okay, Gary, Daniel, anything to say in closing?
Be a great fight, June 6th. If you can't be there in person, tune in on HBO.
Daniel, any parting thoughts?
Just that it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'm really looking forward to this one. It's definitely going to be my time. So thanks to everybody, and get ready for a great night.
Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes your call. You may disconnect at this time.
Wait. Actually, no. We have another fighter coming on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Miguel Cotto is going to be joining us momentarily. We got finished with Daniel a couple minutes early, so we're trying to grab him to see if he can join us a couple minutes early. So everyone stay tuned.
So you want me to stay, or can?
No, Daniel, you're done.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Class dismissed. Operator, if while we're waiting for Miguel, if anyone has any questions for me on the Rock Nation side, you can put them through while we wait for Miguel.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. Our first question is from Jason Gonzalez with Examiner.com. Go ahead, Jason.
How you doing, David?
Jagon, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. David, obviously Miguel Cotto was a staple at Madison Square Garden every year on the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. This time around, the venue, the location has changed. And potential fights for Miguel in the future. Is Madison Square Garden ruled out? Is it going to be the Barclays from here moving forward?
Nothing is ruled out. Nothing is locked in. Miguel has a relationship with Madison Square Garden going back many years. Obviously, now he is forging a relationship with Barclays Center. Having two homes is better than having one.
I hear you. Thank you, David.
Our next question is going to be from Muslima McClendon with Elite Boxing. Go ahead, Muslima.
How are you doing, David?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. From doing your guys' first card in January at the Garden to now hosting a card so big at the Barclays Center with a future Hall of Fame at Miguel Cotto, where do you think that puts Rock Nation on the map in boxing?
I've been asked that question several times. I think what we've accomplished as a company, having started in August is pretty impressive. Many promoters go a very long time before they are able to promote a fight of the magnitude that we're about to promote on June 6th. So we're all extremely pleased that we've made the progress that we have.
Thank you very much.
Our next question is from Aaron with Supreme Boxing. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hi, David. I just wanted to know, what is the approach Rock Nation is going to take towards boxing? Are they looking to kind of marry their stronghold in the music industry as well as boxing and kind of commingle events to get a larger audience?
One of the goals that we set out to accomplish when we started our boxing division was to improve the in-arena experience for fans. One of the ways that we can do that is through musical entertainment during our events. Obviously, we've got a leg up on that given the other things that we do other than boxing. So leveraging our musical connections and other connections that we have in order to improve the fan experience in the arena is one of the things that's very important to us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we're joined by Miguel, so I just wanted to make a little introduction of him. First, although I would like to thank Miguel Cotto Promotions, Gabby Pena-Garicano, Brian Perez, and Hector Soto. Also Freddie Roach I would like to thank, who is joining us also in a moment. There he is. So before I introduce Miguel, let's have the legendary Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach say a few words about the fight, training camp, and how everything's going. Freddie?
Training camp's going very well. We had a lot of good sparring for the fight. Our last day's sparring will be tomorrow. I'm going to head to New York. And we're 100% ready for this fight, and I'm looking forward to a great fight.
Thank you very much. And now a man that really needs no introduction, but I'll give him a brief one. He's the reigning WBC and Ring Magazine Middleweight World Champion, first native of Puerto Rico to become a world champion in 4 different weight classes, represented Puerto Rico in the 2000 Olympic Games. He's a future Hall of Famer, a national hero in Puerto Rico. In his last fight, he made history in his first fight at middleweight by dominating Argentine and then WBC and Ring Magazine world champion Sergio Martinez to capture those titles. He has a record of 39-4 with 32 KOs from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Miguel Cotto. Miguel?
Thank you, David. Like Freddie said, we're ready. We had just a wonderful camp and just waiting to the real moment, the fight.
Thank you, Miguel and Freddie. All right, if any questions are ready, we can go ahead for questions for Miguel and Freddie.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. Our first question is from Javier Govea with La Caridad. Go ahead, Javier.
Hello.
Yes.
Miguel.
Sí.
Miguel, saludos. Javier Govea, periódico Claridad. Miguel, este es tu tercer campamento ya con Roach. ¿Se sigue? ¿Cómo ha sido? ¿No? Ya tienen una base, el trabajo ya no es tan nuevo, pero ¿cómo ha sido? Ha seguido añadiendo cosas al repertorio, y te puedo decir así, mientras te vas acostumbrando a los entrenamientos de Freddy.
Aquí no jamás ha sido el main de nosotros, el añadir cosas al repertorio. Miguel Cotto llegó aquí con su estilo de pelea. Miguel Cotto llegó aquí con su manera de entrenar, de hacer las cosas sobre el ring. Solamente Freddy ha puesto sus conocimientos, ha puesto lo mejor de él para así brindar una buena plataforma para que Miguel se sienta cómodo, como se ha sentido durante estos campamentos, y ya ha tenido las presentaciones como las ha tenido.
Tú vienes probablemente de la que es la victoria más importante de tu carrera frente a Martínez. Yo sé que no se puede subestimar a nadie, pero después de una victoria así, es difícil motivarse nuevamente para el próximo rival.
Jamás he perdido motivación. La motivación y el enfoque de Miguel en el boxeo, en mi familia, es lo que yo quiero brindar, el futuro que yo quiero brindarle a mi familia, y con eso en mente creo que no necesitan nada más para jugar.
Por último, Miguel, yo sé que primero hay que ocuparse del 6 de junio, pero en la pelea con el Canelo Álvarez se está mencionando fuertemente para más tarde en el año. ¿Cómo uno se mantiene enfocado en Geale antes de, como dicen por ahí, no de preocuparse por lo que va a pasar en el futuro?
Tú lo has dicho, la pelea de Canelo sucederá, y sucede después del 6 de junio, y hasta el 6 de junio no se tiene que hablar nada de Canelo.
Ok, gracias, Miguel. Te agradezco.
Gracias.
Our next question is from Luis Sandoval with Fight Hype. Go ahead, Luis.
I'm here. Yes. Sorry about that. Hey, Miguel. When you beat Sergio Martinez, made history, you won 4 titles in 4 weight classes, and many people expected you to kind of come back down and win before. Do you plan on staying at middleweight for the rest of your career, and how do you feel at the higher weights right now?
I'm feeling good, Everybody knows I'm not a 160 fighter. We're just feeling comfortable in here, and we will see what happens.
Daniel Geale just spoke to us earlier, and he expects you to be aggressive in this fight. Do you feel you need to be aggressive, or do you need to rely more on your boxing for a guy that's a little bigger than you?
All I need to do is put in practice what we done in our training camp, and everything going to come perfect for us.
Our next question is from Jason Gonzalez with Examiner.com. Go ahead, Jason.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, Miguel?
Good.
Great. Miguel, just a couple of questions. One, considering you've been inactive for a year, is the plan on June 6th to come out and get a couple of rounds under your belt? Early?
No matter how much time you have practicing, all you need to do is fight as you've been preparing in your training camp. We're going to do our training fight, our fight plan on June 6th, and everybody going to see how well we train for this fight.
Okay, great. Now, second question, Miguel. Considering you had a long-lasting relationship with Madison Square Garden, does it feel a little weird that you're not going to be fighting at the Garden on the, during Puerto Rican week in New York?
I think no matter where, Miguel Cotto going to bring a good fight, a good show. In every place he's going to fight. Garden, I feel a lot of respect for the people in the Garden, but we move on to the Barclays Center. It's another chapter in my career.
Okay, and last but not least, you were named the Puerto Rican Athlete of the Year, and congratulations for that. And are you going to participate in the parade festivity the following week?
My mind is on the fight. It's on June 6th. I don't know what happened next. We'll see if we can stay or if we can do something extra after the fight.
Muchísimas gracias, Miguel, y buena suerte junio 6.
Gracias.
Got it.
Our next question is from Muslima McClendon with EliteBoxing.com. Go ahead, Muslima.
How are you doing, Miguel?
Good.
You've been out the ring for a year. You're fighting a naturally bigger guy. How are you, other than mentally, how are you feeling physically going into this fight?
All I need to do is go with my best attitude every day to my training sessions. I think I've been doing the best I could do in my camp, for the long of the camp, and I just feel myself prepared for the fight. I'm not thinking about how much time I spend out of boxing. I'm just feeling ready, and that's what I have in mind.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you have any questions, please press the number 1 key.
Una carterita negra, como chiquitita de cuero, ¿no?
Our next question is with Kylie Krabby with All Hip Hop. Go ahead, Kylie.
Yes, this is for Miguel and also for the coach. I was wondering, a lot has been made of the fact that this fight is at Catchweights. What did both of you say, like in terms of to answer that and why it's valid and why it works?
Elaborate. Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah. Go ahead, Fred.
Did you hear my question? Hello?
No.
Okay.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, it was just basically for both Miguel and Freddie. A lot has been made of the idea that this is at a catchweight, that it's not at 160. Like, what do you guys have to say definitively about that? Like, why this makes sense and why it works?
Well, catchweights are the future in boxing, and I remember when Miguel had to come down when he fought Manny Pacquiao, and it worked for us in that fight. Sorry, Miguel. But catchweights are, this guy's a little bit bigger than us, and so far he usually fights higher weight, so we put a catchweight in there and make it work a little harder, and position of the champions in.
Okay. And Miguel, like, what do you say to that?
No, I have nothing to say about. In my case, my personal opinion, my personal career, when Freddie make the deal of make me go down in 45 pounds instead of 147. If I accept the deal, I need to be able to get to 147, to 145 instead of 147. If they want to fight with Miguel Cotto, they get to agree with Nathan Catchweight. If not, the fight doesn't happen.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Carlos Navarez with ESPN. Go ahead, Carlos.
Hello, yes. This question is for Miguel and also for Freddie Roach. Saludos, Miguel. Hi, Freddie. Miguel, primeramente, ha estado comentando desde hace un tiempo lo bien que ha sido este campamento, lo bien que te ha venido su unión con Freddie Roach. Hace poco, precisamente, estuve hablando con Gary McMillan y también estaba hablando, y él mismo se preguntaba y decía, ¿qué habría pasado con Miguel Cotto si hubiera conocido antes a Freddie Roach? Háblame un poco de ese cambio, de eso que ha logrado Freddie en ti, y que realmente, contestando esa misma pregunta de Gary McMillan, o sea, ¿qué habría pasado si Miguel Cotto hubiese conocido antes a Freddie Roach?
Quizás si el Miguel Cotto atrevido de aquellos años hubiera conocido a Freddie Roach en aquel entonces, pues hubiera habido discordia, hubiera habido problemática entre Freddie y yo, y las cosas suceden cuando tienen que suceder. Miré hacia Freddie cuando tenía que mirar. Creo que la unión, el equipo con Freddie ha venido de maravilla. Freddie jamás ha estado aquí para enseñarme un nuevo estilo de pelear, simplemente para brindarme confianza. Freddie confía en mí de la misma manera que yo confío en él, y juntos pues hemos trabajado duro día a día, y es lo único que ha hecho Freddie Roach y Miguel Cotto en su unión es trabajar duro día tras día, y creo que el trabajo duro ha hablado por sí solo.
¿Qué es lo más que te ha gustado? Sorry.
I will try. Let me translate. The question is, Carlos, can you make the question in English?
Yes, of course. The question was how Miguel felt about training with Freddie Roach, and how was if Miguel Cotto make this adjustment in his training of having Freddie Roach in the early days of his career, basically. Okay.
And Miguel's answer was basically that who knows, nobody knows what should have happened, but things happen for a reason. At this time, I feel great. Freddie gave me a great confidence to work with, and we have to make a great
teammate, and we work really hard, and it's proven in all the past fights. That was an overall question. Go ahead, Carl.
Freddie, is the same question for you right now. How you feel to be training Miguel, and how was happening if you will have Miguel Cotto in the early days of his career?
Well, Miguel's always been a great fighter, and something that I've always watched and enjoyed watching him fight. And when we get together, we get along very well. Our work ethic is really good because we both like to work really hard. And we train just like this fight and the Martinez fight. And it's the first fight we had together. I mean, we've had tremendous training camps and great game plans. We work together on that. We work very well together, and we get along. And I mean, there's never arguments or disagreements and so forth. We respect each other and listen to each other carefully, and that's why I think he looked good in his last couple of fights, and he'll look good in this one also.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Freddie, Miguel says that if he would choose you in the early days of his career, he maybe have a lot of problems with you because he was too young, not the same person that he is right now.
Well, I didn't know. I knew him back when he was younger and so forth. Just as a fan, his work ethic right now is great, and what I care about is now. And, whatever happened in the past is the past.
Miguel, por último, mencionaste también recientemente que te sientes más joven. Tienes 34 años, pero te sientes mucho más joven aún con esta preparación que has tenido, con esta confianza que has adquirido. Tu mismo preparador, Gavin McMillan, dice que ha logrado, por lo menos físicamente, llevarte a un término de 25, como un cuerpo de 25 años. ¿Cómo tú te sientes, básicamente?
Yo sé la edad que cargo 34 años. Cuando digo que me siento joven, es algo literal, es algo que simplemente me refiero a que me siento con la energía, con mejor energía que cuando tenía 28, 29, 27 años. Me siento haciendo cosas que hacen años no me permitía hacer por diferentes situaciones que han pasado en mi vida, diferentes conductas que adquirí. Entiendo que la madurez y el crecimiento que he tenido como un profesional en el boxeo, como atleta, pues me ha hecho sentir de esta manera.
The question is, Miguel, you said recently that you feel younger, and also Gavin McMillan, your strength condition, said that he's bringing you back like when you had 25 years old. What do you think about it? And the answer is that I said that literally, but I know that the age that I'm carrying, I'm 34 years old. When I say that is that I feel with a lot of energy, very energetic when I come into the ring and to the training every day, and I feel really good. So a lot of things happen in my life, and I feel really, really good at this point. And I just can say that I've grown a lot professionally, and I feel great.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Freddie. Good luck.
Our next question is from Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com. Go ahead, Jake. Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com. Your line is open. Our next question is from Michael Fridley with SureDog.com. Go ahead, Michael. Michael Fridley, your line is open. Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. My line was muted for whatever reason. David, I just have a question for you. Is there any penalty in place, like should Geale or should either fighter miss the catch weight other than what would be imposed by the New York State Athletic Commission?
There is not.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press the number 1 key. Our next question comes from Nube Uriles with El Diario. Go ahead, Nube.
Miguel, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Felicidades por el título que te dieron de atleta del año aquí, organizadores del Desfile Nacional Puertorriqueño.
Gracias.
¿Esto te compromete a participar en el desfile, aunque sea una semana después del combate tuyo aquí en Nueva York?
No, yo estoy muy agradecido con las personas del festival. Yo llevo 9 semanas fuera de Puerto Rico. Requiero y necesito tiempo con mi familia. Los planes que ya tengo con mi familia no los voy a cancelar. Le agradezco mucho, así que estoy muy agradecido con las personas del festival, pero estaré con ellos en la medida que pueda. Si no se puede, no se puede.
Okay, the question was, Miguel, first of all, I want to congratulate you being the Fighter of the Year for the Puerto Rico and Latino community in New York. Are you going to attend the parade on next Sunday, the 14th? And the answer was, I'm very grateful and very happy. And, it's an honor for me to be named the Athlete of the Year. Thank you to all the person and the organization for the National Puerto Rican Day Parade. But I have been working out by 9 weeks, and I think I need some time with my family. But I will participate and will join any activity that I can. But at this time, I just want to think of the fight and see what happens next. What happens next?
Okay, la segunda pregunta es relacionado al desfile también. Tú personalmente y tu compañía Dog Nation están haciendo una donación. ¿Qué tan importante es promover la educación entre la comunidad puertorriqueña?
No solamente en la comunidad puertorriqueña, la educación es una ventaja que tenemos nosotros como ciudadanos de todas las nacionalidades. Y educar significa preparar a nuestros muchachos para el día a día, para su vida, y en la medida en la que Rock Nation, en la medida en la que Miguel Cotto pueda brindar este tipo de ayuda, pues se seguirán haciendo.
The question was regarding the scholarship that Miguel Cotto and Rock Nation gave to the Puerto Rican National Day Parade. What do you feel about giving this scholarship to the Puerto Rican community? The answer was that it's not only for the Puerto Rican community. It's all we have to emphasize and teaching and learning and to all the Latino community. And it's an honor for us as Rock Nation and Miguel Cotto to help and promote the education of the young generation that's coming up.
Our next question is from Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com. Go ahead, Jake.
Okay, Miguel, I know you're concentrating on June 6th, but being that fight did take place in the past, and you were rumored to, you were on course to fight him at one point. I just wanted to know if you happened to see Canelo Alvarez's fight and what you thought of his performance.
I'm focused on my fight on June 6th. I have no time no place to think, see, watch, or talk about anything else than Daniel Geale. I'm just focused on Daniel on June 6th.
Okay. With that in mind, have you seen Daniel Geale in the past, and is there anything about him that stands out in your mind?
If I saw 3-4 rounds of him, was much, but
need to do is follow what Freddie wants me to follow, what Freddie wants me to do during my training sessions, and as soon as far we get connected in our way we want to fight on June 6th, we are going to be ready for fight.
Okay, great. Thanks, Miguel. Best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Zoe Crooks with Real Combat Media. Go ahead, Zoe.
Hi, Miguel. How you doing?
Good.
Great. Coming into this fight, June 6th, what are your advantages coming in to the fight against Daniel Geale?
My advantage is the way.
Yeah. What advantages do you feel have going into this fight that gives you confidence that you'll take care of business?
We both have 2 arms, 2 legs. we need to figure it out, a way to fight. Talking about that, I have any advantage against him, you know. And my advantage is on my corner. His name is Freddie Roach, and everybody going to see how well Freddie prepared Miguel Cotto for this fight.
Great. Now you've been off for a year or two. How do you feel that works in your favor, having a whole year off to pretty much, coming into this, you probably have more rest than usual. How do you feel having a year off going into this fight helps you?
You just said I had a resting year for my favor. I come in here with 364 days off. We'll be ready for the fight, and that's all I can say.
Okay, great. Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Muslima McClendon with EliteBoxing.com. Go ahead.
Just a follow-up question. You made a home in Madison Square Garden, huge fan base. You fought over in the Bronx. What statement are you looking to make as you fight for the first time in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center under Rock Nation?
Fans, the Yankees fans will be Yankees fans no matter where the Yankees play. We're moving from Madison Square Garden to Barclays Center. It's the same Miguel Cotto who fought in Barclays in Madison Square Garden. That's the same Miguel Cotto who's going to fight at Barclays Center. We are going to put the same kind of show for our fans, and we'll know that all of them are going to follow us to the new venue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our final question is from Jason Gonzalez with Examiner.com. Go ahead, Jason.
Yes, Miguel. Just a random question. Over the years, you've racked up on a lot of body ache, and I noticed that it seems like you have a new tattoo before you have a fight. Is there any new body art you have going on now?
I have a couple of them in my body, and I still haven't.
That are new?
I still haven't a couple of them. I still haven't black areas to put new. Excuse me?
No, I didn't hear what you said. You were saying that you had a couple of new tattoos for the fight, but yeah. I couldn't hear what you said after that.
No, it's not for the fight. It's just for me. It's something I like. It's something I like to have it on my skin, and I have a couple of new tattoos in my body.
Now, Miguel, do you plan on getting more, or is that it?
Probably, I used to say I'm done with tattoos, and next week I'm done. And back in the tattoo shop, I learned and say no to other people.
Miguel, thank you so much. Suerte el 6 de junio.
Thank you.
All right, I guess that wraps it up for us. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, Brian. Again, thank you to Gary, Shaw, and Daniel Geale. again, June 6th, Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Miguel Cotto versus Daniel Geale for Miguel Cotto's WBC and Ring Magazine Middleweight World Championships. If you can't be there in person, you should get your tickets now on Ticketmaster or at Barclays Center. The event will be televised live on HBO, 10:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Thank you to the media for calling in today, and we look forward to seeing everybody next week.